Okay, very good. We will just start again, loosening up a little bit. Just find it up and down. And settling the feet, taking a little bit front and back. And take it to the sides. Very good. And into a bit of rotation. Great, and take it to open and close. And lengthen up to the top, take a nice breath in, hinge down. last one. And rolling up to the knees, take it a little bit of flexion, exchange into the spine. Good, and just reach up through the head, up and down. And lift them up. To the shoulder. And second at the front. And on the chin, forward and back. Okay, good. Flip it to the shoulders. One way. And the other way. Open them up to the top. And pull them all the way to the back. Press them out to the sides, roll in front and back. And take the palm side up. And just loosen off, wrapping the hip. And come up to the top with the elbows. The back foot being mobile. the sides. Chin at the top. Yeah, take it to the hips, big circles. And the other way. And set into the knees. And the other way. Circling at the ankles. The other way. Yeah, change your foot. Change. And just take the legs out a little bit wider. Sink into the knees and the hips. And just mobilize them. And just bring the palms together, pressing up a little bit with the elbows into the knees. Press back in with the legs. And release it, just mobilize a little bit more. Take one leg out a little bit wider, sit into the leg. Bringing the toes up. Just mobilizing that position. So just find a comfortable position. Use the hands as much as you need to. And take it to the other side. Good. Right, taking the knee down. It's like just rocking through the hip, the front. Reflection to the leg straighten towards the back, hips draw towards the heel. Walking forward into the front, using the opposite side hand. To just open up the hip a little bit, then just mobilize through it. Bring the hands back, find the toes at the back, and just think about raising the heel, raising the knee off the ground. Again, just mobilizing that position. Lengthen the back leg. Shifting the weight a little bit as that front foot. Let the knees gently come over their toes. Press the body back to the front, just sit into the hips a little bit. Take to the side, bring the knee down. And rocking front and back. Push your hips open, start to let the leg lengthen to the back, hips go towards the heel. Rocking into the hip at the front. And again, settle into the front using the opposite side hand. Just a little bit more. And finding the back foot, raise it up off the ground. Just mobilizing a little bit in this position. Coming back to the front, just take a little bit more bend out of the legs, lengthen the body down, bring the hands level with the chest. Just mobilize a little bit through the hips. Keeping the hips back, start to walk the hands forward. Really active with the hands, pull the hips back. Pressing the weight into the hands, walk the feet together at the back, and treading out with the heels at the back. And lengthening B with both feet back, press into the shoulders, raise the hips. Walking the hands back to the feet and take it to a forward fold. And nice and gently coming back up to the top. Okay. We'll just do one more, which is just going into a hinge. Press strongly into one foot, just let the other foot be a little bit of a guide at the back, a little bit of a weight in it, but not too much. Just think about straightening the leg and just hinging up over the hip. Try and keep the body nice and straight, just hinging at the hip. And that other foot again is just there to give a little bit of support. So you keep the lead leg nice and lengthened. Pressing pretty strongly into the inner arch of the foot. Good, and then switch sides. You can just find the weight in that leg. The other leg as support. Drink it as long as you can in the leg, and then just hinging back. And then last one, just a nice one for balance. Put a little bit more bend in the leg, lift the leg up, reach the foot out to the back, and just bring it back. So you're just working from a bending position, straighten the leg out, bring it back. Straighten the leg to the back, bring it back. Keep a little bit of bend in the anchoring leg. When you think about creating length through the hip, down to the leg, and across to the other foot. Good. And last one, just for balance, do that leg position, bring the hands out like you're an aeroplane, and just play with the rotation of the hip. So balance, obviously key, but also mobility in the hip. Stable where you need to be stable, and mobile where you need to be mobile. Find just the front position again, arms outstretched, straighten the leg back out, full as you can. And back. Shake that leg out a little bit. And go the same in the other leg. So just the first few with the bent knee, and then lifting, straightening out to the back, pulling it back. If you need to touch down at any point, do it. There we go. Good. Got it. Very good. Good. And then just put a little bit more bend in the leg. Bring the foot out. Find that plane position. And just play with mobilizing, particularly the hip. Good. Very nice. Good. Okay, come back, shake the leg out a little bit. Always go a little bit to the wrist, rolling them out. And the other way. And squeezing the palms into a nice strong grip. A few seconds, release. And pressing out the fingertips, nice and fast. And making fists. Taking a grip across. Let's open up the hand. Really kind of opening the hand from the centre of the palm. Spreading and opening. At the same time, just give yourself a pretty strong grip on the forearm. Think of a little bit of a rotation within the grip. So now the forearm roll inside the grip as you're opening, expanding the hand. Switching it to the other side, get a nice strong grip. Really open the palm up. Spread the fingertips. And once you got that feeling, just start to play with a little bit of a rotation within the grip from the forearm. Good. Good. And then just to put a little bit of emphasis on the hand position, the focus of the hand, think about adding in a little bit of a kind of slicing movement to it. So same idea, strong grip, extension out through the palm, and then think about that rolling movement of the forearm. Now it really includes this edge of the forearm, so all the focus in this case goes to the blade edge of the hand, the cutting edge of the hand. Just opening it out. And the main reason is just get away from the idea of like pushing motions with the hand. So it's a common problem or limit with this movement that I go to the hand position like this and then I push with it. So what I'm looking for is like a bladed hand position and really to kind of slice through the space with it. So. And then play with the back part of the movement. So you're going to slice the hand in and then think about dropping the elbow as you rotate back through the forearm and then you cutting in this way. So the two directions in this case are a slice out this way and then a slice out which is coming back this way. So you're doing this and you're doing this and just do it with the grip. So you've got this pattern and you're dropping in to this pattern. So see now the shoulder, the elbow are also very important in this case. So think about keeping the elbow low, shoulders back and down, and then drop into the elbow, let the shoulder sink a little bit lower, and then allow the forearm to rotate. And then think about cutting back with the full side of this hand, and the forearm. And once you get the kind of motion of it, make this into kind of a one thing, so it becomes a kind of roll out, wrap, and then a cut back. So it becomes this kind of motion. And you can also just keep it going. Then you've got this. If you can get a kind of circular feeling with it, it's pretty good. If you can get a sense that you're kind of also spiraling through the joint, particularly the shoulder, then you've got something very novel, very nice. Very good. Good. Then we'll do the same on the other side. So again, just take a grip. Just work just first with that sense of opening out, and this is just to get this part of the arm active. And again, also setting the shoulder in place so that it's able to function. And the main thing again is getting away from a kind of idea of pushing it out and also kind of losing the extension through the structure. There. And then again, think about the cutting back motion. So you've got this now. Drop the shoulder, keep the elbow low, and then think about pressing with the blade edge of the hand. So you're slicing across, cutting back, slicing across, cutting back. So the mobility in the shoulders now key. And all the time I want to keep that. The expression of the palm, the blade edge of the hand leading. Nice. Good. Perfect. Very nice. Perfect. Good. And then we'll just look at a pattern which is similar, but it goes in a little bit of a different spiral. So in this case, this is the lead hand. You're going to spiral up this way, and you're going to rotate in the same way. So this hand's going to rotate to turn to face this way, and I just let the whole body go with it. So this, and then think about a spiral back. So you're going to spiral open the hip to the back, and then let it complete all the way. In this case, you're palm down at the end. So just focus a little bit on one hand in this case. Take a position here, and then think about rotating to the back. Expression out with the palm side, with the blade edge of the hand here, and then think about spiraling the shoulder back across and down. So again, you've got a kind of spiral path in it. Pieces of it extend like this, and then this, and then this. But then once kind of familiar with it, just take it into a kind of circular pathway, and there's a very clear spiral in this if you can get the hips and shoulders to mobilize with the hand. Very clear spiral. Good. Okay. Okay, good. So what tends to get lost is the spiral work in the second part of the movement. So it's kind of it's a little bit because of when we train with a partner, we've got the partner and the tendency to like push back into them, and then I don't do any spiral work. I just kind of push the arm back, and then I take my balance, and then I kind of press them down into the ground. So what I always think about is like really like a pin in the center of the palm. The first one's kind of always in place, but think about then this, and again the priority is taking this blade edge of the hand and really starting to activate it as you go through this motion and then into the down part. But feel it as you go into this. None of that spiral path is lost. With kind of just moving the arm, think about really articulating the spiral in the handwork. So if you think of the work that's going on in the hip as you make the rotation, this hip, particularly the front hip being mobile and lengthening, is going to really, I want it to really talk to the hand. Talk to the hand, this way. So it's really a... we'll work with one, again, this is a little bit more of an intuitive one. Think about now a spiral and also a kind of wave motion to it. So the movement of the body is going to give you the quality. So I don't really need to add it, but think what you're going to do now is a lead foot, lead hand. In a basic pattern, you're going to roll the foot back, and in this case start to draw up and over as you come through, and then bring the foot back. So it's just a very simple pattern, but what you're looking for in this case is to get a draw, and then get the weight loading back, and then get the reach up, over, and then ride it through. So in this case, the hand's going to go for really a full range through here, and then through the end of the movement, the thumb's going to be kind of drawing down. So when you finish it, in this case, this hand position, and the palm's going to be kind of sealing down to the ground with the thumb edge kind of inturned. What you're looking for now, first thing is just coordinating in the hip work to the hand. Get the hip and the hand talking. Coordinating the feet and the hands. If I can link again this kind of spiral pathway through the hand to the hip work. And if I can get that, can I get the whole motion to kind of wave through the structure, so there's a kind of roll and over and a release at the end of it. That's it. Okay, so keep that pattern. If the next movement's totally kind of confusing, keep that as a kind of basic pattern, but think about just adding a little bit more complexity to it. You're going to reach the hand up in this case, again, this lengthens, and then you're going to roll the hip through it. Don't worry too much about angles in this case, it doesn't particularly matter. What you're looking for is the connection here as you roll through and then back over. So it's the same motion, but what you're doing is a rotation in between. Okay, so really basically in terms of foot and hand, what you're raising up, you're stepping in, you're rotating to the back, and then you're rolling all the way back over, and then taking the step. So that work before this kind of step back roll through, it's the same kind of work, but now done with an entry, and with a good rotation through it. So again, it's just a challenge of the body's ability to maintain that connection, particularly spiral work within rotation. Don't worry too much about angles or anything like this, but just think about keeping the connection from the center line for the hand. And if you get some kind of quality which is really like a spiral, if you can loosen the movement out, find a little bit of flow, and it's going to start to become a kind of wave pattern. Okay. If you get lost with it, again, just go back to that simple pattern which is just drawing back. Can we go over? Back. Can we go over? Okay, nice. Okie dokie. Great. Okay, grab a jump. We'll do a little bit of jump. We'll just start with a little bit of ski work, but we'll take it straight away into Zengo, working with the rotation. So find the ski one side, rotate hips over, settle into the fly. find the ski, roll to the back. Use this really as a kind of grounding exercise. Nice and solid in the positions. Okay, so I just want to emphasize one movement. This is very exaggerated, but it's just to emphasize one point, which is the sense of lengthening through the position. So when you go into the rotation, just play with this motion and really think about drawing it back with the body. So there's a couple of tendencies that happen with the ski work. The first one's that the body goes up as you kind of rotate, and then I basically go over the top and then to the front of the body, and then I'm not set up at all for the ski. So I basically need to make an extra adjustment, come back, and then make the movement. That's just, we'll go to that one first, because that's really the one to avoid. Think about, in this case, you really press from that foot. As you go into the rotation, this, and then this, so that the feeling's like drawing a bow when you do that movement. So very exaggerated in this case, but it's just to, again, get away from this motion and go into this motion. So I'm looking for a really grounded spiral path to it, and I'm also going to emphasize really drawing the jaw back to the hip, so it's kind of chambered on the hip, and then you can find the ski much easier. So you're doing a bigger motion of the rotation, but it's just going to, as you do that position, it's going to put you in the right position for the ski. So just into the ski, and again, I don't need to make any extra movements. And later what I can do is just contain this rotation movement a little bit. It's got the feeling of drawing back into the kama. Yeah, that's very good. Now, what I want to do is just play with opening the rotation up. So, play with it a little bit. You've got the basic pattern, which is just a kind of switch direction. The other pattern in this case is just to take it a little bit further. Okay, so in this case, rather than just opening that leg up and placing the foot, you're really going to mobilize it to a new direction. Okay, so what it looks like is here, and I'm going to really choose to mobilize the leg to a new position. As I do it, switch the jaw. So as you switch the jaw. And again, what I want to feel is at the end of it, I'm pulling back into kama. Okay, so you've got the basic pattern, which is just to switch, change direction, and then building up from that, change the foot totally. So you're totally changing the angle of the foot. And it just means, in this case, mobilizing that front foot off the ski. You with the small rotation, you just do it less in this case. Making that angle a little bit wider. Ah, so nice. And the only real question with it is that when I arrive in that position, am I ready to ski? And do I need to make any extra movements? If I don't, then I'm in a good position. There we go. Got it. Nice. So we'll just look at a few of the 𝘂𝘳 movements. We'll just look at the actual movement itself, the 𝘂𝘳 movement itself. So lots of hip flexibility with this one. The easiest way to start with this case is right foot forward in a narrow grip, and this is just going to emphasize the opening and closing of the grip. So what I want you to play with is a rotation where you just step back this way and just mobilize that leg, and then just play with just stepping back. So just the very first section of it is just going from here, setting up the position, and then find the foot, roll the body back this way. So I'm trying to get is again the hands kind of communicating to the hip and just opening it up. So just that far. But again, it's just that very first opening of the grip, opening up, and then pressing back with the body. What I want to do is that extension out in the hands is also being expressed back through the body. That's that. That's good. Yeah, the main thing with this, just especially be careful of the knees with this. So one tendency with this is why there's a lot of forms people teach with this, and none of them are wrong. But one of them is to kind of switch the feet first and then do this movement. That makes it very easy for the hip to do the movement, but it doesn't quite work on this kind of communication of the hip and the hand. The other thing that happens is I don't do anything with this foot, and then I just travel back with it. And what I do is I create a really bad position for the knee, basically. So it's the same as any kind of movement we're looking for. Look to orientate the knee and the toes to the direction of travel. So that very first motion is going to be a mobilization of the ankle. Okay, it sets the knee up in the right position, and then I can find the heel, and then I can just travel back through that leg. And just be careful of the knee, especially in that movement. And I'm looking for the mobility in the hip and the ankle to protect the knee, basically, so that the knee doesn't get strained in that rotation. Yeah, that's it. Got it. Good. Okay, and then we'll take the handwork a little bit further. So we'll just go up to the top position. You're going to find this position, and then this front hand's going to roll across, and then it's going to come all the way to the back end of the weapon. Don't worry about taking the grip in this case, just the switch of the grip. So you're opening up, and then you're going to roll through it, and here. So the right hand in this case finishes thumb pointing forward. So it's here, and into this position, and you're just finishing off the side of the body. Yeah, really nice position for the body to play with because it's a very asymmetrical position. That's it, of course, they're good. Got it. Very nice. Got it.
Michael,
hey, good.
The contact that you keep with the 𝘗, is that your fingers in this way, or do you keep the contact a bit more with the hand?
More the fingers in this case. In the case of really training like that kind of feeling, particularly as it crosses this into this path.
Yeah.
That particularly I'm really in the fingers, and then I'm going to find the grip in that sense. You're kind of transferring a little bit if you think across it, because I'm going from like palm kind of contact and then across into the fingers in that case. So yeah, you're kind of transitioning through that contact point, and you're going like palm, and when it crosses here, I'm basically pretty much in the fingers, and then I'm coming back to the palm in that case. Yeah.
But the first bit is basically more this.
Yeah, it's a bit more that. If you think about making it as a bit of a block, that kind of position. And again, it's just less movement in that case, because if I try and go directly to the, it also feels a little bit weak in a sense.
Yeah, your fingers are snapping back as soon as you get something.
Yeah, right, and then I get that kind of position. But then once it's kind of past that, then it's just like mobility, and then the fingers are really kind of ideal in that case for for that kind of job in a sense. Yeah, exactly.
Because what I sometimes see is that you get this movement, and then there's a really light touch.
Yeah, and then it's like, I mean, you can also play. That's also nice to play with in the sense of like how little contact do I need with the weapon, which is also kind of nice to go like how soft can I make that kind of contact point in that, which it's kind of nice to play. When you're looking at functionality, I suppose you just need to be in a good position. I don't need to be in a strong position.
Yeah, but if you put the hand behind it, basically you get this kokyo movement in your left hand as well to get this movement going.
Yes, right. So, it's also totally. Yeah.
And otherwise you're just brushing your your joke.
The main thing for us with the hasso is to get rid of. I mean, I just don't teach it this way because I just don't feel it's useful. But it's to get away from this kind of feeling of like pushing the jo. It's just. I mean, apart from anything else, it's not a nice movement. It's just not nice that it's like it achieves the hasso, but it's just not nice. So in terms of spiral, we'll go into a pattern with it. But now think about again these kind of spiral paths. You open it out, roll through, come up to this position. Now take with the left hand. Now again, there's a really nice spiral pattern here from this position to this position. Okay, so you're going from that to this, and then you're just going to cut through with the hand. So this is a nice one in the modification of the hasso with this position. So it's a nice one. You can obviously just strike from this position. It's quite a strong position to just kind of strike down with it. But in terms of looking at spiral pathway kind of kokyu work, that kind of cut through is a really nice one. That cut through is a really nice one. And again, I want the hip to be drawing it, and then draw it through that movement. So we're going to like a modified hasso with a strike, just reorientating the grip in this case. The benefit of the full hasso is that you're actually coming right up into that position anyway. The hand's already open. You draw like this, which is in a nice form to work with that kind of shift and change. Okay, we'll work with one last form. It's probably going to look quite complicated, but it's actually very easy. You take the jo a little bit further to the top to start in the left foot in this case, and then you just swing the jo through one, keep the grip exactly where it is, roll it back, and then you end up in your hasso position. And then from here, do that same cut, change and cut through. I just showed a few times that here, take nearer the top, don't take too far near the end. You want to be in a comfortable position. Don't adjust the grip through it, just roll through the wrist, find that top position, and then go into the strike. And then you just come back each time. So in this case, it's the left foot forward. The jo starts in the right hand, near the top. You step in across one, change back into the hasso position, and then change into the strike. So you start left foot forward. You do a figure of eight double strike. Bam, bam, come back, strike again one more time. Yeah. The main thing with this is don't adjust the right hand. So start in a kind of comfortable position, find that position. First thing is really feel that that's comfortable. Feel that the hip's able to kind of engage through the hand, and then initiate that motion so you come across. Don't adjust the right hand, just adjust the body. Left hand comes into assist, rolls through it, you find that top of the hasso position, and now you adjust that right hand. So it's just at the end of the motion, that very last strike where you adjust the right hand. So from this move, the right hand stays. The left hand comes to assist back. Find that top position, and then you're into your hasso, you're into your strike at the end. It's a nice one if I get into the connection of it, just to start to flow. There's a very clear spiral work pattern. The hips. And then the last bit, with the motion, just put a little bit of kick behind it. So these movements are actually strikes. So if you think about one as a strike that whips across, and then the second is a strike that whips back across this way, and then roll it back over, and then you've got a final strike which comes at the end of it. So just adding a little bit of a kind of kick to the motion. But again, it's just to feel that the sense is in place. There's a kind of kick through that motion. There's a kick through this motion. It whips back up, and then a final strike down. So you've got two kind of patterns. One comes across the body, this goes across the back, and then the third one, cutting in from the top. So, once you've got the connection, the arm is quite fluid. You can actually do this very lightly in terms of the structure of the arm. You don't need to be too much tension to it. That's good. Cool. Last 30 seconds, just find a solid hip position, hip width, and just play with this. Get very slow to finish, just to come back into balance. Think about again grounding back into the feet. Think about just a very simple figure of 8 pattern. Keep the body really focused towards the front. Let the body really settle into the legs. Strong ground contact, really mobile with the hips. Very mobile with the shoulders, the wrists, and the skin floating. Very nice. So that's why I do that pattern a lot is because it's a really nice pattern. Apart from anything else, feels good. But it's really like a movement that's embedded within a lot of the stuff we do. So all this kind of core work with the specifics of what the wrist does and how it relates is really embedded in this very simple movement, which is this kind of figure of 8 pattern through the hip. It's a really nice pattern to work with. Okay, we will stop right there. That's the end. Great. どうもありがとうございます。
どうもありがとうございました。
Okie dokie. Great. Thank you.